Modern technology.
Yeah. Andy, hey.
Hey, how are
Pleasure.
you?
I'm doing well. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you about One True Loves.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I have to say, this is a different movie, different kind of movie that you have directed in the past. So, what initially drew you into a project like this?
You know, I spend a lot of, I come from theater. So in theater where we have the opportunity to do a variety of projects, and that's really where I started. And I read this book right here, and I fell in love with the story, and it really hit me at a personal level. That question of, can a person love more than one person in their lifetime? And I had seen that with my mom, who after my father passed away did not date anyone for about 30 years, and then all of a sudden met a man when she was 70, and her life changed again. And I just thought it was such a touching story that the director and me got very excited to tackle something slightly different.
It almost sounds like your mom's story of that. It should actually be you could still find love at any age.
You know what? That I think when I got the book, my mom no longer can really see, and so I got her the audiobook, and she's now heard the audiobook about 5 times, and immediately she had called after hearing it the first time and said, "You have to do that movie."
Oh, wow. Now, but as I was referring to that, because you do a lot of comedies, so how do you want to approach this type of film? Do you approach it more like a love story, or more like a drama?
You know, it's interesting because in some ways there's 2 parallel stories happening here. You have Emma and Jesse's story and Emma and Sam's story, and they both happen at the same time and at various points in her life. And I think that comedy and tragedy tend to sort of circle each other. And what was great was working with this amazing cast, and we sort of stripped it bare. So the idea was not having it be about pratfalls and too much of that kind of, there's certainly comedy elements in it, but the idea was to come at it from the character and from the heart. What really was crucial was Taylor Jenkins Reid, who wrote the book, and her husband, Alex. The 2 of them wrote the screenplay. So we really had the brilliant mind of Taylor, who helped create these characters back in 2016 with the book, helping to now guide us through the process. So for me, I always approach it, whether it's a comedy, a family film, a horror film, a drama, always just want to start with those characters and see what that situation is in. And again, we're so blessed with this cast because they're just wonderful, grounded actors. So every day you sort of sat at Video Village and smiled and thought, okay, I can move on now. I can move on now.
So how close is the movie to the book that you're?
You know, there's definitely changes because the book had a certain narrative style that worked so great within the book, but once you open it up cinematically, you have to kind of find a way to give the equal weight story to what's happening to Jesse and to what's happening to Sam at the same time. So I think that people who love the book will find the story that they're expecting to find. I think people who also love the book will be hopefully excited by how much further Taylor was able to go with the material and expanding on some new ideas. So I think that there's something to love for everyone. And if you haven't read the book, you could watch the movie and go back and read the book.
That's always an excellent formula, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't read the book, but was the humor your touch?
Say it one more time.
Was the humor, the comedy in the film, was that part of your touch, or was it from the writers?
You know, I think it would be a combination of everybody that mixed that stew together. I think you take that script, and again, Taylor and Alex give a brilliant blueprint to follow, and you get those actors and you have those moments where I certainly want to set an environment in which there's freedom to explore. And I think comedy comes out of those tragic situations at times, and the awkwardness we feel on how to manage our emotions. And so I certainly probably threw out suggestions, but again, I'm always looking to see who I have to play with. It feel like when I'm directing, you're like a coach. And if you have a team of all-stars, your best job as a coach is to stand back and let the all-stars do their job. And Phillipa and Simu and Luke and Michaela, just really strong actors, but each one of them also inherently very funny.
I did actually find it the casting process for this film, because as an Asian person, Asian representation is a proud thing, in our neck of the woods. But and this is actually unusual. Usually, somebody puts a token Asian into a film, but you actually have quite a bit in your cast here.
Yeah, I'm always proud to have to try to lead wherever I can with diversity. And I think it comes down to think about who those wonderful actors are, give everyone a read and a chance. I met with some brilliant actresses for the role of Emma. And the last one I met with was Phillipa. And I had seen her do Hamilton, and I thought she was magical. And the minute we got on the phone, I got off the Zoom and I texted all the producers and Sarah Finn, our amazing casting director, and I said, I found our Emma. And I just knew talking to her. And then it was talking to Phillipa about what does the family look like? What is the makeup of that family? How do we go? And in some ways we borrowed a lot from Philippa's life. And then same thing when we started looking for Sam. We began the process for Sam and for Jesse next. I didn't have some sort of like, I hope I find the white guy sort of checkbook here. I just wanted to meet wonderful actors, and I did. The minute I met Simu, I was a huge fan of Kim's Convenience. Shang-Chi had not come out yet. So people were saying, oh, there's this movie. I'm like, no, I know Kim's Convenience. I know how great he is. And that was proven right. And so, and then the opportunity, and was such a massive fan of Michaela's, and the opportunity to bring in Lauren Tom, who also a massive fan, and Michael O'Keefe for Dad. It was just a great combo. But I was very proud that the book wasn't necessarily written one way or another, but it wasn't that we were specifically trying to cast. And then what magic appeared when we just cast the right actors for the role, and how exciting that was to have that be a part of everything. On our opening engagement dinner party, we went to Lauren and said, help me put together what would also be some of the, and sure enough, she gave us a list, and we're running all over Wilmington until we could get everything on that table, and it was delicious. I barely wanted to film. I just wanted to eat that meal.
Yeah, and special combination the fact that you created sort of a mixed race family, and that's something that usually is not portrayed on film, and that is terrific that you honored the actors.
It was a great opportunity, and I have to say also credit with Taylor and Alex, because the minute that Pippa became our Emma, our first order of business is, how do we fix the script? How do we adjust the story to make it feel more personal? And we spent months working on that. So very proud of everybody's contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the case, could you tell us about the production set for this little town? Was it Wilmington, North Carolina? Is that where it was?
Wilmington, North Carolina, we needed to find, it's very hard when you're doing an indie film because the My Dinner with Andre approach of if we can get everyone in one room and do the entire movie that way, everybody's happy. This script had more locations I think I've ever had in any of my projects when I've done the big scale studio movies and had that budget. Here, we needed to find a place that could give us a worldwide adventure. And we went to Wilmington, which so many other people had gone to before, and found brilliant actors, found a brilliant crew. And pound for pound, every day we were at a different location, and every location, people later on would look at it and be like, well, did you fly? Where did you film that? And I'm like, Wilmington. Our lighthouse we found was about a 5-hour drive up the coast from, but everything else was right there, and how lucky we were, as well as we were able to shoot in Acton, Massachusetts, which is where the book is set and is also Taylor's hometown.
I know. I was going to say the world montage that you created. I was just trying to figure out whether that was some kind of back lot or you just had a clever production set decoration.
Our production designer was brilliant. Our location scout was brilliant. And once you start getting in your head, what a country looks like, then you start looking to see where you can find it. And Wilmington was our backlot, and the city was so accommodating and the people so nice that when we wrapped, I think none of us wanted to leave, and probably could have done another, trip around the world right there in Wilmington.
Most excellent. So what is up with next for you, Andy?
Well, I have our Heather's musical that is still running in London, and both that and the tour. And we did a stage capture for Village Roadshow that's currently on Roku, but we're getting ready to be in theaters in a couple of weeks in UK and Ireland. So very excited about that, and always looking forward to what the next adventure is.
And before I let you go, I'm curious, because you've done large productions and indie productions like this. Which do you actually prefer?
It's an again, coming out of theater. If you start in theater, you're lucky in a production when you get 4 chairs and a table. That's a huge production in theater. So the minute I started doing film and television, and they'd be like, do you want a couch? And I'm like, I can have a couch. And they're like, yeah, do you want lights that turn? I can have lights that turn on and off. So I love storytelling. And I think I will forever be just thrilled for the ability to tell a story that finds its audience. Not all stories are for everybody. That's an impossibility. And I'm a fan of all film and television and theater. And so I just get excited. I'm as excited when I'm working with a more manageable, containable budget like this as I am when I have a bigger studio budget, as I am when I'm on stage and have 2 weeks of rehearsal and I'm wondering if we can have 3 cups on stage. And if I have to go buy them myself, I will. I just love telling stories. I feel blessed to be an industry that lets me do that, and blessed that there are audiences for all types of stories to be told. And I hope people will find One True Loves, and I hope it will be something that they enjoy.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it, and it is a pleasure meeting you, because I've watched 85% of your films. I mean, I've seen a lot of it. I love it.
Thank you so much. Well, I hope that this isn't the last time you and I get a chance to talk.
Most definitely. Next time, Andy.
Next time.